Simplicity is a prerequisite for reliability. Edsgaard Dijkstra. My friends, simplicity is one of the real keys we talk about here all the time. Keeping things simple so you don't have analysis paralysis, making sure that you're making clean and clear decisions based upon simple indicators. That is why we use the price percent oscillator, a reliable percentage version of the MACD, and the derivative oscillator. We like to see those cross at the same time. It gives us more reliability. And let's jump into these charts. We see stocks are mixed. The S&P is down a little bit. NASDAQ is up. Bonds are up. Gold is down. Bitcoin down a little. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. We have a red spinning top. Open box means a slowdown in the up movement. Look at the divergence we have, though, continuing as the price percent oscillator pulls away from the red signal line. Derivative oscillator not quite negative. Probably not going to get negative unless it's a big down day on Friday. It still has remained positive this whole time, but losing energy. So again, what do we see? What does this mean as price has continued to ratchet up a little bit, slowing down, moving up, slowing down, moving up? What you're having is you're having that price percent oscillator. You're seeing our oscillators themselves, both the derivative and the price percent oscillator. You're seeing them devolve. And that is showing you that there is a regression that is occurring. The way I sort of look at it is stocks are on a tightrope right now. They're high off the ground and there is no net below them. So when you see divergences like this, the divergence is we see our oscillators moving down and price moving up. That's showing you there is a problem there. It ought to look cleaner. You should be hitting higher highs on the price percent oscillator. It should be positive, not underneath the red signal line. Things should be gaining, not losing. So again, that is a potential problem. What's going on the 2-day chart? Bouncing off the red signal line, heading down, red spinning top is what we see. This represents Wednesday and Thursday after the Monday, Tuesday, well, actually 8 days of up movement, and then things significantly weakening here. The price percent oscillator pulling away from the red signal line. Derivative oscillator losing momentum but still positive. What do we see on the half-day chart? Down in the morning, a little bit of a recovery. In the afternoon, not as bad as it could have been, plummeting down both on Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, and then a little bit of recovery Thursday afternoon. That's where we are on the S&P. Better news on the NASDAQ 100. We see it up 1.27%. We see on the weekly chart, price percent oscillator still negative, but heading up. Derivative oscillator trying to flip over to green. Nice big green up candle, reaching a higher high. You can see things moving up quite nicely. Go to the 2-day chart. What do you see there? You see the derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Price percent oscillator spiking up, moving right up. That nice 2-day trend line. And we go to the half day. What do we see there? Things had crossed over going down on Wednesday afternoon and then boom, crossed right back over, started heading up in the morning, crossing over in the afternoon. Quite interesting. Again, quite interesting. We'll go ahead and log that in as far as our new trend line. That's where we are, and look at the derivative oscillator. It's still quite negative. So we'll see how long, what happens on Friday, how long that move continues up. That is where we are on the cues. What are we waiting for? Either a weekly vertical crossover going up or a 2-day recross going down and a bounce off like we saw right in this area here in late April. And of course, then you had those 3 weeks of down movement and then going into the 4th week of this latest up movement. That is where we are, my friends. Let's leave stocks, go to bonds. Bonds up for the day 1.50%. You see that price percent oscillator continuing to pull away from the red signal line. We just, again, we're going into the fourth week of up movement. It seems to be accelerating. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Price percent oscillator heading up on that 2-day chart. Of course, we had that 2-day crossover going up, and this was all quite sluggish, was it not? That happened on 5/20. That was the 20th of May on a Thursday, representing the Wednesday and Thursday of that week. Popped up strong for 4 days, sideways and down for 6 days, and then starting on the 7th of June, things started accelerating up. We had a bit of a blip there Monday and Tuesday, the 14th and the 15th, but again, Wednesday and Thursday, particularly with a huge spike way up, as again, price percent oscillator gained momentum, derivative oscillator heading up. Look at this half-day chart. You can see where things were moving down and then just spiking over in the morning and hitting about the same high in the afternoon on Thursday, and things flipping right around on that half-day chart. That's where we are, folks, as far as bonds go. So again, the magic of the weekly vertical crossover continues to show itself. It might take a little time, but again, heading up. And of course, what helps? Well, you know, having the 2-day recrosses to rely on. They can be very helpful. You got to practice trade those things, though, to know what's going on and how to use them and what charts they work on. Again, this is all chart specific. That's why we encourage you to practice trade as much as possible and to do what? Fill out your trade worksheets. Remember, trade worksheet, daily market worksheet, weekly market worksheets. Those are all available for free in your show notes. If you're a subscriber, go to chartingwealth.com, sign up, be a subscriber for free. Let's head from bonds to gold. And man, after many weeks of up movement, gold started laying it to it, slowing down back on the week ending the 4th of June. And then we saw things really back off on the week ending the 11th of June. And this week, a really Debbie Downer week. Derivative oscillator dropping, price percent oscillator spiking over, going down, still positive, but heading down, and a big red down candle. What's up with the 2-day? It, of course, did cross over, going down back on Tuesday the 15th. And of course, this latest Wednesday, Thursday, acceleration down is just adding fuel to the fires. The price percent oscillator and the derivative oscillator spike down. We look at the half-day chart, and that's where you can see it running when it started back on the 27th of May. Now, that's when it crossed over. Again, we don't trade off the half-day chart, but we watch it continue to sort of slide sideways up a little and then dropping for a day. Sliding sideways up a little and then dropping and then dropping. So again, that's where we are on gold. Hopefully it'll bottom out somewhere soon. That 2-day will cross over what we call a recross, going back in the direction of the weekly before that weekly crosses and we can jump back in. Might not happen. Might have a weekly vertical crossover going down. Means it'll be a while probably till gold catches fire again. We'll wait. We'll see. We'll be patient. Lastly, my friends, let's go to Bitcoin. Down for the day, not a whole lot, 0.38%. But we can see for the week a very weak little green open box candle. The little wick on the bottom, long wick on the top. Price percent oscillator still moving down. Derivative oscillator negative, losing a little downward momentum. 2-day chart still trying to head up. Green candle has formed. Again, not reaching a higher high, not reaching the high that it had previously on the 15th. That was the Monday, the 14th and 15th. This latest one, again, losing some of that momentum. No 2-day cross yet, although the derivative oscillator has crossed over to green. We look at the half day, and again, you can see 2.5 days of some pretty decent down movement after things had spiked up for a few days. Again, the overall mood in Bitcoin, as shown by the weekly chart, still a lot of downward pressure. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day on Thursday, go into Friday. Don't forget, on Friday we record what? The weekly review and forecast. That's when you fill out your weekly market worksheet. Very important. Every time you do a practice trade, you use the trade worksheet. That way, what you're doing with all these worksheets, the daily, the weekly, and the trade, is you're establishing your own stock trader's almanac, your own little go-to manual where you have explored, you've practiced, you've made your notes, you've seen your mistakes and your successes. You're able to go back and record all that. As they say in the medical profession, as also is said in the law profession, if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. In other words, you want to write it down to make sure you learn it and you can refer to it in the future, to remember what you've learned from the past. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.